nerds, just sitting around talking about stuff. The Burg Nerds, this is the Burg Nerds, just sitting around talking about shit.
All right, so we're sitting here today with Mr. Jay Kirkman, who is the proprietor, if you will, of the owner and operator, I guess, of Moonlite Comics. How you doing today, Jay?
I'm doing well. Glad to have you guys out here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Hey, let's talk a little bit about the store now. I've been shopping here, doing my comic business. I've actually been out of the game a little bit. The economy and Obamacare and everything. Ukraine. Putin is putting the smackdown on my comic reading, as it were. And recently, I just haven't kept up. There's a lot of series that have just gotten away from me that I haven't been able to read. So I canceled my folder, and I've not been back for a few months now. It's been rough, man. You know how it is a drag on everybody. But I noticed I'm seeing a lot of changes in the store here since you've taken ownership. Now, when did you take ownership?
I took over the store last July.
Last July, yeah.
A little less than a year.
That's awesome. I got to tell you, man, it's looking great in here. It really is looking great. I like a lot of stuff you've changed. And so tell me what's going on here. What's new with the store here?
Well, I'd say there's what isn't new, really. We've kind of attacked it from every angle. My long-standing ambition when I got it was to build the store that I'd always wanted to visit when I was younger. The one place that always jumps out to me as being a great place was Comics up near Sacramento, California, where I grew up. Now,
I've actually been to Sacramento.
I've
never been to the comic store that you're speaking of, but I got to visit. We got to see old Sacramento. The Old West, whatever's left of it, refurbished Old West kind of. A tourist trap. It was just a gigantic tourist trap. But I ran around a bit in that area for a while. I enjoyed San Jose and, of course, the Bay, San Francisco, and all that. And it's really cool out there. So, sorry to interrupt. I was waxing nostalgia there for a second. I miss the West.
Well, on the other end of the spectrum were the places that when I was growing up also on the East Coast, they weren't really
East Coast.
Connecticut.
Yep.
There were a couple of establishments there that I don't want the store to be like. It's a terrible feeling. For instance, when you go into the card store and you feel like you're being taken.
I think there's nothing better than a comic fan, a fan of this whole universe, to actually own a comic shop. Because I've seen several comic shops where you can just tell that it's not really owned by somebody who embraces the universe. You know what I mean? So that's really good because they get to take a look at all the things they didn't like about comic shops, and of course all the things that they did like about comic shops, and they get to make it. They get to kind of mix and match, and it's kind of like when an actor becomes a director. He's worked for all the directors, so he gets to piece together, what he likes and kind of give the boot to whatever he hates. So it's really good to see somebody who embraces the universe actually owning a comic shop, not just somebody who's like, you have money,
right.
Which, whatever, but it's pretty cool, man. So, what do you got going for the? What do you got in store for the future of the store? You got any big plans or anything like that?
We're going to keep on doing what we've been doing, really ever since we took it over in July. We've really hit the ground running. We hear all the time when people come in, especially if they haven't been in here a little while, just how much of a change has been made.
Yeah, vastly.
It sounds like a game store just about all the time. Here we have people playing games. They're always welcome. In the past where the first ceremonial action I did, actually, there was a sign on the wall that said, limit 2 hours in the gaming area.
Wow.
And in my, I'm a role player from way back.
Got a governor on it, though.
Really? Yeah. I mean, 2 hours in, that's your first random encounter. All right, guys, it's goblins. See you back in a week. I mean, that doesn't really work. So we want to make it sound like a gaming store. And the only way you're going to do that is by building the community and letting people know that they're welcome to come in when we're open, hang out as long as you like. And we've really seen that come back in dividends, in terms of the atmosphere of the store.
Well, I've noticed that already walking in. It was a lot friendlier than it used to be.
Yeah.
It used to be stone cold quiet.
Well, and nothing against the people that the previous owners, is it Dave?
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, I think the last time I really shopped here, I think was when Dave owned it, and he did a great job with it. But it is, I think it's vastly improved. And again, that's no offense against anyone. It's
Not
just,
at all.
It has vastly improved, and I mean, it's just leaps and bounds better. It's more of a friendly. It's not just as far as what you're selling and what you're doing, but just the atmosphere seems more inviting. It's not like your stereotypical Korean-owned 7-Eleven where they're, hurry up and buy.
Right.
So.
So it's one of those shows.
That wasn't.
Anyways, one of the things that for me coming in here and looking around, one of the things that I've actually been really impressed with is the fact that you've really maximized the space.
Yeah.
I mean, the simple fact. I mean, you have all these tables for the gamers and for just so much activity, but yet you have shelves going all the way around of comics, the tables in the middle with the comics. It's not cluttered. You have plenty of room to walk around. I
had no idea that this store was actually this big.
I mean,
it's very well. You have a feng shui. You have a feng shui.
Well, it's really important to do that too. I mean, being completely candid, there's very little that we have here that you can't get cheaper somewhere else online.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's
why
with
would
any comic shop
here?
too.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So we have to make sure that we're not just providing a product. There's an experience as
ambiance.
Well. Absolutely. Yeah. A way for them to actually hold things, to look at it through their
and it sounds silly, but that really is the deal. I mean, that's the deal breaker right there. I mean, is when you provide, like you said it yourself. You're providing a service that can be, I mean, you can buy everything cheaper online. It's just let's face it. But what you provide here is like an atmosphere, and I think that's
right.
I think that's probably the most important thing is to be able to walk through the doors, and no matter what your poison is, whether you're a tabletop gamer or a comic reader, whatever it may be, is just to feel like there's somebody there who's who cares and wants to help, and that's a really important factor to have. And I think you've done it very well. You're doing it very well.
Thank you. Yeah, if you don't have an experience to provide, I think in this day and age, the clock is going to be running out for you. So to that end, we maximize the game space that we can have with the tables. We upgraded. And for me, it's always the little things too.
It feels
the picnic-style chairs are on the way out. We're getting more deluxe chairs, more seating. People will be
I gotta
here
say,
longer.
it feels significantly less like a dungeon when you come in here than it did before. Like I believe there was like iron bars and water dripping from the ceiling the last time I was in here. So.
Manacles with some residue on them. And
actually, no, that not the last time I was in here. Actually, I think I spoke to you because you sold me a Rorschach action figure. Do you remember that?
Wait,
it's been about a month ago.
Was that an Arnold Horseshack action figure?
It was Rorschach. Did I say Horseshack?
Hey, Mr. Carter.
Welcome back, Carter. Rorschach. I think that was the last time. But before that, I think it was pretty. Yeah. It looks great, man. You're doing excellent things with it, and keep up the good work. Definitely.
Thank you.
So the ceiling tile art, I've noticed when I've been sitting here, and there's a lot of good work up there. Do you commission those out, or were they here when you took over, or kind of a both scenario?
Yeah, that's a great question. One of the fun mysteries we've had since we've taken over the store is finding out who did all the work that's gone into the love that's shown for this place over the years. I've gone places as random as standing in line at the bank to make a bank deposit, and the teller, she did one of them. When she saw the name on there. So we've been able to find a number of people who've done them. And that's always exciting. We've got some folks who are actually got some panels at home. They're working on them, so we want to keep adding to that. That's a great tradition.
Your Kingpin poster over here was donated by a fine gentleman.
Actually, yes.
Really?
That actually came from me years ago, and I'm
looking around.
I'm actually looking around. It's like the Lord of the Rings, the Spider-Man, the Aragorn, not the Aragorn stand up, but a couple of them, and it's like I know where they came from. Some of my friends, I mean, we actually had them. We're like, let's give them to our comic book store because, in all honesty, there's only so long that you can actually hang a banner in your house or your apartment.
You get married, and those things tend to go towards. I have an entire part of a closet it's just like long boxes of comics stacked up and just rolled up posters and just framed, art and stuff like that just has no place in our apartment together now that my girlfriend and I are living together. So is that kind of what happened to you, Eddie?
No, we're actually not really, because actually,
fuck you. I'll never try to relate to you again.
Well, and the only thing I actually did, the only banner I had left after I donated all my movie banners, the only thing I had left was that Taye Diggs movie brown sugar. I had a banner of
Why?
that. Because
why did you have a banner of that?
Because it actually.
I don't see it hanging up in here anywhere. I'm guessing they really didn't want to brown sugar.
Took it down.
It became available to me. But I actually did have another question for Jay in regards to, because I was thinking about this going, all right, when you took over Moonlite Comics, all right, you're now the owner. You look around. The challenge. What was the first thing that came to your head when you took this over? And you're like,
what was the first thing where you're like, I have to fix this. I have to do something with this. Like, what was the big thing? Is that what you're going for, Eddie?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The very first thing I'd say would be just beginning to put our imprint on it. Like I said earlier about taking the 2-hour limit down. We moved the role playing from the shadowy corner over there to the heart of the store. I'm a role player at heart. It seemed to work pretty well. But the other thing, the real big first initiative we had was to try and identify what the core business of the business was, and it wasn't hard. We wanted to do comics, we wanted to do gaming, and the things that surround that: action figures, magic cards, everything that goes into the gaming store. We wanted, and then start looking at what we wanted to do to get the other stuff out of there. Lots of Beanie Babies, lots of NASCAR memorabilia. Those things all have their place.
Just not here.
Not here.
Just not here.
I will say that
I agree.
I contributed to your Beanie Babies. So
really,
I actually had.
I thought some of them looked slightly soiled.
Now
Nice.
Hey, that was supposed to be off the air.
I don't know what it is about Eddie, but it seems like every time somebody's on the show, they target Eddie. Like he's like a magnet for attitude. The NASCAR stuff, man. I noticed back when the store was located over on 60 down on Louisville Road, you would come in. It's supposed to be. The place was called Moonlite Comics, and you would walk in, and it was just like, who drives a NASCAR? Dale.
Jeff Gordon.
Jimmy
Gordon.
Johnson.
It was just
We still have
stuff.
one hanging from the ceiling over there.
Burn it.
It was NASCAR stuff wall to wall, and I was like, this is unusual. But
There were like model kits.
and the owner had no idea about comics. I was like, did you have this issue? I think this was when I was a kid. I was like, yeah, I'm looking for a holograph Spider-Man 2099 or something, whatever it was. And he was just like, I don't know if we have that. I don't know. But we have some NASCAR memorabilia over here that
when
you can buy.
I would say when you focus a little bit too much on the bottom line, when you really make that what you're looking for as a short term as opposed to a long term, there is a susceptibility to a scope creep. You're starting to chase the next fad. There's stacks of Pogs in the back room. Those won't ever see the light of day out here, But we inherited them.
I remember Pogs. I would actually like to talk to you after the show about those Pogs.
Pogs, common Pogs for kids. Is that the?
Yes,
we can make that work.
We'll unload those on Jerry.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
But really, I mean, that's why a lot of that stuff, and it tends to be kind of the detritus of any store. A lot of it doesn't sell because the whoever was running whatever shop it is chases the fad a little too deep, misreads the tides. They're left with a bunch of inventory. That stuff tends to accumulate and it kind of calcifies in the store.
I don't think you could give away Pogs if you taped $1 bill to each one.
I don't think most people would know what they even are anymore.
I actually do remember Pogs.
I remember them.
I used to have just big plastic tubes of them, and I think I actually played the game once. Like I had Pogs for years, and we would just trade them like trading cards or whatever. And I think I maybe have played the game like just once or something. Like I don't really remember even how to play it. I think I played it once, but it was mostly we just used them like trading cards. You would just.
Do you have any Alf Pogs back there? Remember Alf?
Oh boy,
he's back.
Alf
Pog form.
But the question is, did Alf ever really leave?
No, I think in all honesty nowadays Pogs are actually more used as coasters for shot glasses.
They're not big. Shot glass.
Shot glass.
I was like, they're not big enough for regular.
You'll say, let me finish because I got this.
Well, Slammer's big enough for a highball glass.
So there you go. You can remark it. So
it's a renaissance of Pogs.
We have
Moonlight Comics.
For 25 cents, or like 5 for $1.
I like your marketing strategy. We'll go with that.
I'm smart.
See?
I still feel like no one is going to buy Pogs. You can have a box of them. The Silent Assassin is back, by the way. I wanted to comment on this because I got tickled. Like we're sitting here in the middle of the shop and painting you some atmosphere. We're sitting around in the middle of the shop and we're speaking with the owner and like pacing back and forth behind him is his number one, as it were. It's like the It's like the Joe Pesci to Robert De Niro in Casino. Like he's like pacing around and he's like I'm here, man. He's got his arms folded and he hasn't said a word. He's just pacing back and forth. So is he like your bodyguard or whatever? Like he's here in case stuff gets a little too real or.
Ivan, he's our number 2.
Oh, okay.
He's our number 2. He's our Yu-Gi-Oh specialist for one.
Nice. Oh, okay.
And he's a great weekend help. We really appreciate having him here.
And he has a I like that he has a Deadpool pin that's like helping hold on his name tag.
I don't like his Deadpool pin. I'm gonna go ahead and tell him I don't like it. We were just talking about how much we didn't like Deadpool. And I don't know. I don't want to even launch into that. Like that's way too much. I'm liable to flip this table.
And so who's this gentleman over here next to Ivan?
That's
let's
Josh.
talk a little bit about the help here. Who's this guy here?
Josh is our unpaid intern. It's an entirely voluntary position. I'm not sure what possessed him to take it, but
he got a bag of chips out of it.
He loves comics and cards, and that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
He helped staff the when we were at the Lexington Comic Con this past con. He did that the whole time. Now, granted, he did it just so he could be closer to William Shatner, and that didn't go so well. But.
So, like, was he like in the bushes? Like, there's Mr. Shatner.
He got shot down by the Shat.
So, who else we got here? I see somebody over here behind you.
There's several somebodies over here. This is my wife, Jimmy.
Hello.
And
Hello.
Our twins here. This is Lorcan and Declan.
Those are 2 very cool names, by the way.
Thanks. Yeah, one of the things we also want to foster here is kind of a family atmosphere, and the idea of kids running around and being welcome here. It's this without kids coming into the industry and without them looking at comics, which for us it's modern mythology. Yeah, it can't grow.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd be sitting on a desert island, so we're very excited to make this a real, family first kind of atmosphere. This is Derek McElroy. He's one of our regulars as well, who's throwing in to help out with baby duties.
All right.
All hands on deck.
Yeah, man, it's a real family atmosphere. I like that. It's very inviting,
mm-hmm.
and I think that's important. That's an important thing. We discussed that, but.
So Jay, why don't you throw out your all's address, your all's Facebook page, like
free to promote there.
Yes.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, sure.
Go for it.
So again, it's Moonlite Comics, 1100 US 127 South.
South, Eddie, South.
Say South, not North, South. But yes, underneath under Subway, across from Big Lots and Red Dot and so on.
I hear at Big Lots you can find Hers brand.
It is a quality chip at a reasonable price.
It very much is.
We've been giving them away.
So go on.
We are at Moonlite Comics on Facebook. We have a very active social media presence there. So we're always updating what's going on. You mentioned the calendar earlier, Eddie. We keep that updated as well. We have events pretty much going on here every day that we're open. Some of the bigger ones we've got coming up on the 3rd of May. It's right around the corner. That's Free Comic Book Day. That's a very big one here.
Everyone loves Free Comic Book Day.
Absolutely.
I missed out last year, but to 2012, I think I cleaned up on actually some good stuff. I think even a couple of the series that I picked up on Free Comic Book Day, I kind of got turned on to them and actually started reading them. So if for nothing else, Free Comic Day it's May.
The third.
First
Saturday in May.
It's a different. Yeah, it's a different day every year.
Yes.
Do you guys have a cosplay day? That might be something.
We don't have a cosplay day, but we do a monthly LARP.
Okay.
Live action role play. So
nice. Let's talk a little bit about that, man. That's a world that I know nothing about.
Sure.
Live action role play, other than what I've had a chuckle at on YouTube. I really don't know much about live action role play.
You should watch the documentary Dark On.
Should I?
Yep. It's really good. It's about live action roleplay. It's actually pretty good.
Is it on Netflix?
It used to be.
I think it still is.
Dark On? Yeah. I like it.
I'll have to check that out. So what do you guys do here? You actually have live action role playing, like you're doing like battles and stuff inside the store after hours, or?
Yep, we closed out at close of business on Saturday. We open it up for our once a month LARP. It's hosted by William Thrasher, who's with Kettle of Fish Productions.
Okay.
We met him at one of our Kentucky Creator Expos. It was last October. He's done some writing for Fantasy Flight for Warhammer 40,000.
Okay.
So he was out in that capacity. In terms of, he was like, well, if you ever want to host one of these here or give it a shot. I'd never done it before, so I was also in the dark.
I've looked into it. It seems fun.
It was. So. I'll be candid. It took me about 15 minutes to get the inhibitions aside, not feel completely ridiculous. I had the time of my life. It was a blast, and
I think that's what holds me back from it. Is it looks like a blast, but I don't know if I can get around my own head long enough.
See, at first I was like, then I watched Darkon when I was done. I was like, that looks really fun, and I started looking to see if there are any around Kentucky, and it was all vampires.
No, we've the first one that we did was a Warhammer 40,000.
Mm-hmm.
The one we did last month was based on feudal Japanese mythology, and the one that we're doing tonight here is basically Cthulhu meets the Wild West.
Lovecraft. That's pretty cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Definitely, yeah.
But once you get past that first hurdle, for me it was for the first one that I did, I was a cult leader by night, opera singer by day. And,
naturally,
yeah, that sounds wonderful. You can hear my voice already. And the unpaid intern was the governor, who within just the first few actions said, "Well, we have some visitors. Opera singer, sing for me." And I thought to myself, we're all rookies here, with the exception of one or two guys that came and they were in full costume. The rest of us were all just people here.
So it was go time. It was do or die. Wasn't
it? If I chumped out and didn't make an opera sing go of it, I figured the rest would follow. So yeah, I sang.
Oh, right.
I turned bright red. But I had after that it was a blast, and so we've been doing it once a month now, and we're going to keep on doing it. We'll
awesome.
keep changing it around.
Well, that's wonderful, man. It's we're having a blast here so far.
Thanks.
Hanging out and eating some hers and just chit chatting with everybody, and it's a whole lot of fun. Jay, it's Kirkman. Kirkman's your last name, is that right?
That's right.
Is there any relation to the famous Kirkman? I bet you've never heard that question before, have you?
Well, it's one of those funny little coincidences. There's no relation directly. My brother is Robert Kirkman, my younger brother. So there were several jokes when we took over the store to have a signing by Robert Kirkman. And I figured that wouldn't be the best way to introduce myself.
You're not misleading people.
Well, it depends.
Not at all.
It depends on how many rocks it is you're wanting through the window.
Right.
Not a matter of if you want rocks through the front window.
But he's gotten, my brother has gotten the occasional bit of love and or hate mail for Kirkman, because they look, there's a Robert Kirkman in Kentucky, got to be our guy.
Yeah,
send him off something.
I love it.
So your brother's getting hate mail at his home?
He got some at his home, yeah.
Wow.
So can you actually tell? Do you remember any of the things that some people have said?
The one that I remember, it was the first time I ever saw something like this from him. He's like, I don't know what this is. And I'm like, oh, okay. I see what's going on here. But it was something about the role of women in the Walking Dead universe as as it was kind of a sexist subjugation. That was the agenda. Although I think that property really does have a lot of strong female leads. So I'd like to think in the passage of time, those concerns have been addressed. I mean, Michonne is one of the most popular characters from it. You don't get any stronger than that. So
I can't.
That is a good point. Yeah.
I can't imagine just the amount of awkwardness of getting this letter about that subject, and you're like, okay, I don't remember. Oh, okay, I guess. Should I write them back?
Honey, apparently I wrote a comic
was.
book series in my sleep.
Yeah.
I don't remember writing this. Well,
We're cashing those checks.
Oh,
It's only cheating if you get caught.
That's right.
that's the only time it's fun to be Robert Kirkman, is when you get the money that accompanies
wait.
being Robert Kirkman.
So is this how the comic book shop is being funded? You've exposed it.
Uh-oh.
The news is out.
Burg Nerds exclusive.
All right, Manny. Well, Jay, again, man, thank you so much for having us here. We're having a blast, and again, you guys come check out Moonlite Comics and come see Jay and come enjoy the atmosphere. If tabletop's your thing, comics your thing, toys your thing, just whatever, man. Just to hang out with cool people is your thing. Then come on down and see us here at Moonlite Comics.
The Burg Nerds. We were the Burg Nerds. Just sitting around talking about stuff. The Burg Nerds. That was the Burg Nerds. Just sitting around talking about shit.